Can you measure the circumference of our planet from your living room? In 240 BCE, before telescopes, before satellites, before calculus, before anyone had ever left the surface of the Earth, a man has measured the circumference of the entire planet, and not roughly, not by guessing, but to within 1% of the value that we measure today with GPS and laser technology. He used no special instruments, no advanced technology, just a stick. His name was Eratosthenes. He was a librarian. What he did in a single afternoon in the Egyptian city of Alexandria was one of the greatest scientific measurements in human history. And this is the story of how he did it and why the method itself is more extraordinary than the answer. So picture Alexandria in 240 BCE, the greatest city in the ancient world. At its heart, the Great Library of Alexandria, the largest collections of human knowledge ever assembled, hundreds of thousands of scrolls, mathematics, astronomy, medicine, philosophy, history, all of it under one roof. And at the head of this library is the chief librarian, Eratosthenes of Cyrene. He was what we call today a polymath. He made contributions to mathematics, geography, and astronomy, but he was about to make a measurement that the best minds of every subsequent century would look back on with pure astonishment. It started with a letter, or more precisely with a scroll. Among the vast collection of the library, he had read an account of a city far to the south of Alexandria called Syene, modern-day Aswan in Egypt. On one specific day of the year, the summer solstice, the longest day, at noon, the sun was directly overhead, not almost, not approximately, so perfectly vertical that the sun's reflection could be seen at the bottom of a deep well, and vertical sticks would cast no shadow at all. He read this, and on the summer solstice in Alexandria, he went outside at noon and looked at a stick. Here is what he observed exactly. In Alexandria, on the same day, at the same time, a vertical stick did cast a shadow. This shadow was small, but it was there. He measured the angle between the stick and the line from the tip of the stick to the end of the shadow. He found out that it was 7.2 degrees. Now here is the leap that separated him from every other person who had ever noticed that sticks in different cities cast different shadows. So he knew that the earth was round. This was not a controversial idea among the educated people. And he drew a picture. Here is the earth. There is the Alexandria and Syene. And the sun is so far away from the earth that the light rays arrive essentially parallel on the surface of the planet. At Syene, the ray goes straight down in the well, perfectly vertical. At Alexandria, the ray hits with an angle and the sticks cast a shadow. The angle between the stick and the sun's ray in Alexandria, the shadow angle is 7.2 degrees. But look at the geometry carefully. These two red lines from two cities are the radii of the same sphere, the Earth. The angle between them is exactly 7.2 degrees from basic geometry, since the parallel lines alternate the interior angles. So these are the parallel lines. This was a key insight. If that central angle was 7.2 degrees, so 1/50 of 360 degrees, then the arc from Alexandria to Syene was also 1/50 of the full circumference of the Earth. The calculation from here is embarrassingly simple. So here we translated what we said by words into equations. The circumference of Earth is 50 times the distance between the two cities. But how far is the distance between Alexandria and Syene? He hired a professional walker trained to measure distances accurately by counting their footsteps. The measured distance between the two cities was 5,000 stadia, which is 785 kilometers. So you calculate from the circumference of Earth, what you have is 39,250 kilometers. And if you use the GPS and laser technology, what you have is 40,075 kilometers, which gives us the error of only 2%. Only 2% of error 2000 years ago. And let us settle for a moment. The only source of errors was the measurement of the shadow angle, the distance measurement between the two cities, and also the stadia value that he was using. The method itself was perfect and an extraordinary precision as a consequence. I want to zoom out from the measurement itself and focus on this. For most of human history, questions about the size of the cosmos was answered by myth, religion, and authority. The earth is carried on the back of the turtle. The sky is a dome held by gods. The universe was created in 6 days. These answers they were given, received, but they were never proven. He did something different. He took an observable measurement, the angle of the shadow, combined with geometry to extract the size of the world that we live in. This is the scientific method. If this ignites your curiosity, subscribe to Breaking Spacetime, and I will see you in the next one.